Warriors NRL fanatics, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and this is going to be my NRL round 20 tips. It's women in the league round, so yeah, look, it's great to, pay tribute to those women in the game of rugby league who do a lot for NRL in general and in the sport. So yeah, let's get into the tips. The first game of the round, it's on Thursday the 28th of July. It sees the Manly-Warringah Seagulls taking on the Sydney Roosters. This game is being played at 4 Pines Park there, and it kicks off at 7:50 PM Australian Eastern Time, 9:50 PM for viewers in New Zealand. Now, the betting prices at Sportsbet have the Seagulls here at $5. The Roosters are paying $1.18. Favourites. Team changes, well, there is a number of team changes here for the Seagulls. So, Pio Seki, I think that's how you say it. Pronunciation is not the best, so my apologies for if that's not how you say it. But he's set to make his debut on the wing. And Alfred Smalley also is on the wing as well, another debutant. Lachlan Croker is named at hooker. And Kurt Deloise comes into the starting prop position, while Andrew Davey is named in the second row, and Jake Trbojevic is back into the starting 13 after missing last week due to COVID there. Now, I'll go through the Roosters ins here. So, Lindsay Collins, he starts in the prop position, and Joseph Manu returns in the centres. And the outs for Manly, obviously, with the jersey situation there, so there's a number of players are pulling out. I won't go into the jersey thing. But Ben Trbojevic, Christian Tuipulotu, Hamoli Olukuatu, Jason Sub, Josh Aloiai, Josh Schuster, Tafao Simply, and Toto Kola is missing in this game. Now, in terms of the prediction-wise, I'm going to go with the Sydney Roosters here, 1-12. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go James Tedesco, Joseph Suwali, and I'll go Dylan Walker and Taniela Paseka. On to the Friday, the 29th of July. It sees the second game. Now, the first game is the Warriors versus the Melbourne Storm. That game's at Mount Smart. I'll be doing a separate preview video and predictions for that one. So, keep an eye on the channel. That'll be up on Wednesday. So, for this game, Parramatta Eels versus Penrith Panthers. It's at CommBank Stadium there in Western Sydney. Kicks off at 7:55 PM Australian Eastern Time, 9:55 PM New Zealand Time. The betting prices here at Sportsbet have the Parramatta Eels $3.50 outsiders. The Penrith Panthers are $1.31. Now, the Parramatta Eels, coming off that very disappointing performance over the South Sydney Rabbitohs last week, going down to them down there at CommBank Stadium. And the Panthers, well, they're coming off another win, and they've won 9 straight games in a row, and they're looking for 10 straight. Currently top of the NRL ladder as the minor premiers, and they'll be looking to cement that lead on the standings and increase it even more. Look, the team changes. Penrith Panthers, Robert Jennings, he comes in for Stephen Crichton, and Sean O'Sullivan comes in for the injured Jerome Luai, who's going to be missing for the next couple of weeks, which is a big blow for the Penrith Panthers, but Sean O'Sullivan's a really capable replacement in the side. Mitch Kenny is also out, and for the Parramatta Eels, the only change is Bryce Cartwright. He's onto the bench. Now, in terms of this game, I am going to tip the Penrith Panthers here, 13+. Yes, the Parramatta Eels did beat them earlier in the season down there at Penrith Park, and that was a great win for them, a good performance. But the Parramatta Eels haven't been as consistent. Well, they haven't been consistent over the last couple of weeks. They should have, won last week against the Rabbitohs at home, but they didn't. They put on a very disappointing performance. And Penrith, well, I just don't see them, being stopped at the moment. So I'll go Panthers 13+. Anytime try scorers, Dylan Edwards, Isaac Tago, and Taylor May to cross over. On to Saturday's games now. Saturday the 30th of July. The first game is Gold Coast Titans versus Canberra Raiders at Cbus Super Stadium. Kicks off at 3 PM Australian Eastern Time, 5 PM for viewers in New Zealand. The betting prices here have the Gold Coast Titans at $3 outsiders, and the Canberra Raiders are paying $1.39 favourites. Team changes. There's only one team change for the Titans. That is Brian Kelly coming into the centres. Now, the Canberra Raiders came from behind to beat the Warriors last week, down 14 points to 0, and had a very good second half. Jack Wyden leading the way there with a massive 40-20 kick. Some huge plays for the Raiders that got them over the line in that one. And look, for the Titans, well, they're going into this game on a bit of a losing streak at the moment. I believe it's 8 straight losses in a row. And yeah, they're sitting currently in 15th spot on the ladder. As for the Raiders, a win here will keep their season alive again for another week. And, they'll be trying to push their claims for a top 8 spot for the finals. So, in saying that, the Raiders got a lot to play for, and I think they will win this game. Now, I'll go Raiders 1-12. Canberra Raiders 1-12. It will be a bit of a competitive match for a bit, and then I think the Raiders will do enough to get over the line there. So, Raiders to win for me. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Xavier Savage, Nick Kotrick, Sebastian Christ, and I'll go with the 5'8", Jack Whiten. On to the second game on Super Saturday. It sees the Cronulla Sharks versus the South Sydney Rabbitohs. This game has been played at PointsBet Stadium there in Sydney. Kicks off at 5:30pm Australian Eastern Time, 7:30pm New Zealand Time. This is going to be a very good game. I reckon it'll be very close, very competitive. And look, both of these teams come into this game in some good form. Sharks coming off that result last week, a win. And South Sydney Rabbitohs also beating the Melbourne Storm there at a core stadium. Now, the betting prices here have the Cronulla Sharks $1.65 favourites, Rabbitohs $2.25 outsiders. As for the team changes, well, both of these sides are 1-17 unchanged. Now, Cronulla should win this game because they're at home. They are higher than the Rabbitohs on the ladder. They're third, and I believe the Rabbitohs are 6th or 7th on the ladder. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but the Rabbitohs have found some very good form lately. Their attack's been great. Latrell Mitchell's really made an impact. Cody Walker and Lachlan Ilias are playing some good footy. Their forward pack's doing well. Their defence has been a lot better as well. So the Sharks, they've been in some great form as well. They beat the likes of the Storm. They went down to Townsville and beat the Cowboys. So they're in, good form at the moment, and they are sitting third in spot where they deserve to be there. But I'm going to tip an upset here, actually. I think an upset can happen. And I think the Rabbitohs, with the likes of Latrell Mitchell, I think he can have a big game in this one. I'm going to go Rabbits here to win by 1-12 in an upset down there at Shark Park. In terms of anytime try scorers, I'm going to go Alex Johnston, Jesse Ramian, Ronaldo Mulatalo, and Lachlan Ilias to score. On to the final game now to wrap up Saturday's action. It sees the Brisbane Broncos versus the West Tigers. This game's at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. Kicks off at 7:35pm Australian Eastern Time, 9:35pm New Zealand Time. Look, the betting prices have the Brisbane Broncos, no surprise here, at $1.15 favourites. West Tigers, $5.50. West Tigers, very unlucky to not get that win over the Cowboys in the dying seconds of that game. A controversial call, penalty, going against them. And look, I think the Tigers, for me, I'm going to say it, and yet Cowboys fans will be probably will be upset if I say this, but I believe the Tigers were robbed last week. They were dudded in that game, and they probably deserve the result at the end of the day. But Cowboys, they got what they got. So look, Tigers, I think they'll be very, very frustrated, and I think they'll come into this game and be very competitive with the Brisbane Broncos, actually. The Broncos speak for themselves, sitting in that top 4 position, having a great season. Probably not what I expected at the start of the season. I did not have them in my top 4, nor my top 8, but, what do I know? I'm just a fan, giving my opinion. But, look, team changes. I'll go through the team changes. So, Deloise Hoyter comes in the centres. Billy Waters is named at the starting hooker spot. Look, I am going to tip the Brisbane Broncos here, but I'm going to go 1 to 12. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Corey Oates, Tessie New, and Payne Haas to score. Now on to the Sunday games. Sunday the 31st of July. Newcastle Knights taking on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. This game's at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. Now it kicks off at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, 4 p.m. New Zealand Time. The betting prices here have the Newcastle Knights $2.50, Outsiders Bulldogs $1.54. Look, I am going to tip the Bulldogs here, but quickly I've got to go through the team changes before I forget. So Tex Hoy comes into the fullback spot for Kalen Ponga, who has been ruled out yet again due to concussion, which is very unfortunate. Jake Averillo is back in the fullback spot for the Bulldogs after being ruled out last week. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Bulldogs here. Bulldogs 13 plus, not 1 to 12. Bulldogs 13 plus. And anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Jacob Carrez, Josh Adokar, and I'll go with Matt Burton. Bulldogs have been showing some great form lately in terms of their attack as well. So I think there'll be plenty of points on offer. On to the last game now to wrap up round 19. It sees the St George Illawarra Dragons taking on the North Queensland Cowboys at the Strata Jubilee Stadium. Kicks off at 4:05 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, 6:05 p.m. New Zealand Time. The Dragons here at Sportsbet are paying $2.75. The North Queensland Cowboys are paying $1.45. So there you go, your Cowboys as favourites, which is no surprise considering where they are on the ladder, second spot. Look, in terms of this game, look, Dragons, good win last week. You know, backs against the wall. No one gave them a chance, and they got up. As for the Cowboys, well, yeah, they got out of jail last week, but they'll be looking for a much better improved performance. So, look, I am going to tip the Cowboys 1 to 12. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go Val Holmes, Peta Hiku, and I'm going to go with Jeremiah Nanai to score. So, yeah, that is my tips for round 20 of the NRL. Let me know who you're tipping for this week's games down in the comments below. And don't forget as well to, if you are watching the videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Like the video, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.